The fog rolled in like a slow, white tide over the pines when the two hunters heard boots crunching behind, the measured military and out of time. 4 men in worn Union blue emerged from the gray, march in single file along the game trail, rifles shouldered, eyes straight ahead, their breath visible but their faces strangely still, like portraits learning to move. The hunters froze. One Soljaraboya really turned his head as if he heard his name. Then all 4 faded back into the mist as neatly as they'd arrived, leaving only silence and a line of fresh footprints pressed into the new snow. Shaken, the hunters did what hunters do. They followed Sin. The prints were perfect. Heel, tread, toe. Even the leather stitch marks had etched in the powder. The trail cut past a half-rattan fence post and down into a hollow where the fog pooled like water. That's where the footprints began to stagger, as if the men had started running then, mid-stride, simply stopped. No scuff, no turn, no jump. A boot print frozen in air's idea of ground, ending in a clean edge as if reality had been shaved away. They took photos, left, and swore not to sound crazy. But when Hunter came back alone the next morning with a thermos and a question, he found a brass button in the snowmelt, stamped with an eagle and shield, greened with age. When he picked it up, he felt Hitsuma Hitan heard, just for a heartbeat, cicadas and distant cannon. Then a voice behind him. "Company, halt, halt." He spun. Only trees, only wind. The button was warm in his glove. He brought it to the county museum. The curator went white. Not because of the button, which was real enough, but because she'd seen the same 4 faces in a Daguerreau-type days. Earlier, a local family ascetic find. The photos showed a patrol that never returned. Recorded in a diary line from 1865, sent to escort gold payroll through the mountain pass. Fog came in like smoke. Never saw them again. That night, the hunter read the diary in the museum office, the storm hammering the glass. The last entry was smudged, but one word was clear. Home. Not the fort. Home. He checked the map on the wall and realized the hollow where the footprints had ended sat directly between the old pass and a long-abandoned homestead, burned out after the war. If they were trying to get home, they'd have cut straight through the fog then, never finished the last step. He went back at dawn, the button in his pocket, and stood at the edge where the prints ended, where reality looked ordinary and felt wrong. He said, "You made it. You're home." The fog leaned forward like a listening thing. 4 figures formed, clearer than before, faces soft with relief, shoulders lowering as if weight finally set down. The boy looked right at him, not through him, and nodded once. Then the air softened, the cold lifted, and the prints ahead of the last boot appeared 1, 2, 3 leading past the edge and up out of the hollow toward the black rib cage of the old homestead fence. By noon, the new prints had already begun to fill with sunshot powder, but the trail was there, complete at last. The hunter followed it to the yard and stopped. 4 final impressions faced the doorway that no longer existed. No return prints, no turning away, just arrival. He left the button on the threshold to blank shy of memory. That night, for the first time in a century and a half, the hollow had no marching in it. The fog came, but it didn't keep anything. The museum never displayed the button. The curator said some stories are steadier when you know where they end, not where they are. The hunters won't go back in snow, but if anyone asks, they'll take you to the fence posts and point to the hollow and say the part that always gives people chills. The footprints didn't stop. Way! These